Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first day of what I have planned on being a 4-day trip. Right now I'm in the extreme northwestern corner of Colorado. I'm actually pretty close to home. I live in southwestern Wyoming, and it took me an hour, 45 minutes to get here, not very long. And the first stop of the day is this spectacular set of charcoal kilns. These are the Bromide charcoal kilns, and I've seen several of these on my travels throughout the years in multiple different western states, but I think these are the best preserved charcoal kilns I've ever seen. These were built in 1898, and they were in service until about 1920 when the price of copper dropped after World War II. So these were used to smelt copper, or at least to make the charcoal used to smelt copper. So there was a copper mine nearby, and in order to separate the rock from the copper, to get the copper out from the rock, it needed to be smelted. And to do that, you need charcoal, which burns at a higher temperature than just wood. And so what the mining company would do is they would build charcoal kilns like this, fill them full of wood, seal out the air, and then light them on fire. And so the wood would burn, but not burn all the way because there wasn't enough oxygen. And by doing that for like a week, I think the sign back there said, they would create charcoal that would then be used to smelt the ore. There's also a smelter on site here and a bunkhouse and like an office. But today there's really nothing but these 4 charcoal kilns. There is a sign saying not to enter the kilns, so we won't go all the way inside, but we will take a peek inside here. You can see some light coming through holes in the ceiling. Such interesting, beautiful structures. This is about, 12 feet. 15 feet in diameter here. And then here's a look out at the surrounding countryside. Really pretty country. We're pretty high in elevation here. We're at about 6,700 feet, something like that. Nice and green this time of year. Today's adventures are going to focus on northwestern Colorado. This is an interesting area to me. Like I said, I'm local to this area, and there are lots of interesting things to see and do here, but they're going to involve a lot of driving. In fact, today will involve probably 7 or 8 hours total of driving, something like that. I'm basically making my way toward southern Utah. That's where I'm going to be in the next few videos for the next few days, but I wanted to start off here in northwestern Colorado. And the next thing that I wanted to see here in this area is pretty close by in terms of relative driving distance. I'm maybe, half an hour, 45 minutes from it. So let's put the GoPro on top of the car. In case you're wondering, I get asked this a few times occasionally. How do I record like the time-lapse footage of me driving? I put this on the roof of the car. This is a GoPro. This one is a Hero 10 Black, and it has a magnetic mount on it. So I stick this on top of the car, and it has a feature called Time Warp, which is like a moving time lapse. And so I just choose that setting, set this on top of the car, start it recording, and then that's pretty much it. So let's get that going, and then let's drive to our second destination of the day. I'm now at a place called Wash Basin Herd Management Area. I just stopped at a little kiosk and got this pamphlet here. And as you can tell here, this place is known for its horses. It's wild horses. Apparently this is one of the better places in the region to view wild horses. I actually already saw some wild horses this morning, but I wasn't filming. I was on the Wyoming side of the border a couple hours ago, and I saw a herd of 3 or 4 horses not too far off the side of the road, so that was fun. I've also seen at least 100 pronghorn out here. They are everywhere, and I've seen a dozen dead ones along the side of the road that have been hit over the winter, and so lots of animals out here. This place, the Wash Basin herd management area has a loop drive that you can do. It's a 47-mile-long loop, so I'm right here. I just turned off the highway here into the herd management area, and I'm gonna drive north along this road, and there are a couple of loop options. You could do a smaller loop or a larger loop up to Sheepherder Spring and back. If you do the whole loop, it's about 50 miles. Let's just start and see how it goes. If I find a lot of horses, then I'll just do the small loop, but if I'm having trouble spotting some, I'll go all the way to the spring here and see what we can find. About 10 minutes into the drive now, and I've spotted my first horse. Looks like there's just a solitary horse off to the side here. Let's get a closer look. So cool. Beautiful animal. Beautiful backdrop there. Very wild, desolate, rugged terrain out here. And I've seen several pictures from this place, and there are horses of a variety of colors. Some are brown like this, some are kind of mottled palominos, some are black, some are white. Let's keep going and see who else we can find out here. And we have a single solitary pronghorn out there in the far distance. Usually they travel in a group, but I can only see that one out there now. About 40 minutes into driving now, and I think we've hit the jackpot. I see 3 horses dead ahead here and another dozen or so off to the side. Let's see if we can get a closer look at these ones first. And here's a look at the much larger herd off in the distance here. We have several over there. Again, various colors. Big cluster over here. There have been wild horses out here since the late 1800s and early 1900s, but it wasn't until the 1970s that this area was actually set aside specifically for the herds of wild horses in this area. Before then, the locals of the area would just periodically cull the herd themselves, and nowadays every 4 years there's an official roundup where they go through and gather up horses, and I don't know what they do with them. I don't know if they sell them off to individuals or if they sell them off to like glue factories or something. I don't know. Now there are about 250 horses in the herd here, or in this area rather. I think in 2021, which was the last roundup, there were like 800 or 900. And so just because of resource scarcity, they occasionally do cull the herd because they repopulate pretty quickly. And I just noticed that straight ahead of me here on this little mesa, there are a couple of horses feeding. What a cool, iconic images. The silhouettes of horses out in the landscape. Feels like the Wild West out here. Feels like the Old West. And behind me, there's still a bunch of horses just hanging out, doing their horse thing. Not too bothered by my presence here. You know, I've seen wild horses before in again, several western states, but I've never seen this many. This is a lot of horses. This is a couple dozen horses that I've seen out here. I'm not especially a horse person. You know, there are real horse people out there. People love horses, and I like horses, but you know, I have no particular fascination with them. But even I can appreciate the beauty of these guys in a beautiful landscape. I think I'm actually going to turn back now. I don't have a ton of gas. There aren't really gas stations out here. The closest one is in Craig, which is the main town in this part of Colorado, and it's like 60 miles away. And I have about half a tank, so I think I'm gonna not do the entire large loop. I just passed the turnoff a few miles ago of the small loop, so I think I'm gonna backtrack a little bit, do the entirety of the small loop, see if we can find any other horses. But even if not, this has been awesome. This is you know, this surpassed my expectations out here. Really, really neat place. To get here, I did have to cross a couple of pretty steep, pretty deep washes. They were dry mostly, but had steep sides on them. And I'm glad I had some high clearance here. You don't need four-wheel drive. And I think that for most of the smaller loop, you'll need just kind of medium clearance like any SUV. For this particular section, I'm glad I had a little bit more clearance on me. It's a few hours later now, and a little bit of a change of scenery. We're still in northwestern Colorado, but it's much more green here. There are more pinyon and juniper trees in this area. It's less just completely dry, kind of bleak, but still pretty to me terrain. This is the third thing that I wanted to see today, the third major site on today's agenda. And it's just a little walk. It's not even really a hike, just a little walk down into this wash and across, and then I think we'll be there. Except the trail, or at least the little trail that I was on, led directly to the edge of the cliff here. I think I can see the proper path in front of me here. But as far as that loop goes, the wild horse loop that I did, it ended up being 37.5 miles. So pretty long. That's quite a bit of dirt road driving. And again, you could do the larger loop to make for a longer drive. I would caution you, however, hold on, let me figure out where to go. I think over this way. I would caution you, however, about taking just a regular car out there. Don't do it in anything less than medium clearance, like a regular SUV. And even then, you're gonna have some trouble in some sections. You won't be able to drive everything. So the more clearance you have, the better for that drive. Definitely worth doing though. Saw just a ton of horses. I mean, dozens and dozens of horses. Really, really neat. I just came around the corner here, looked up, and found what I was looking for. This is called the Carrot Men site. For pretty good reasons, pretty obvious reasons. These people look like carrots. There's a lot of rock art in this area. This is the greater Pintado Canyon area, south of Rangeley, Colorado, kind of between Rangeley and Grand Junction. And there is a lot of rock art here. This is one of the more impressive sites in this area, I think. I was in this area, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, but I'll put a link down to that video if you want to see more rock art in this region. Lots of neat stuff around here. But it's these kind of bluish pictographs that are really just capturing my attention here. I don't know how well the blue comes through in the camera here. It might look more gray, but and it is kind of a grayish blue, but it's definitely blue. And I don't think I've ever, well, there's a big one right there, ever seen blue pictographs before. That is remarkable. Then, of course, these red guys are impressive too. The Carrot Men. And you can actually get on top of this boulder here and get right up close to these blue pictographs. And you can even see like the thumbprints, the fingerprints that would have been used to dab on those dots. And then also here are some other interesting ones. These are teepees. At least that's what I read online. Can you see those faint kind of orange teepees? That's significant because that means that these particular ones, these teepee pictographs, are much newer. So a lot of this rock art dates to 800 or 1000 AD. But then there's also much older rock art here. It's called the Barrier Canyon style of pictograph, and that dates back to like 3000 BC. Very, very, very old stuff. These teepee ones, however, would have been in the last few hundred years after the Native Americans in this area got horses, because they didn't have teepees until then. And there is a handy plaque here identifying some of the rock art as different styles, so that red carrot man, that is the Barrier Canyon style, and then the blue is Fremont or Barrier Canyon style. They're not entirely sure. And then again, the teepees are the Ute style. The sign here also says that azurite, the mineral azurite, was possibly used for the blue pigment in that rock art. What a spectacular spot. This is probably one of the weirder sites that I've been to, Native American rock art sites that I've been to, just because I've never seen that blue before, and that's so cool. And the reason that this place has rock art from, spanning multiple millennia is that, it's a combination of the overhang over there, like there are some kind of shallow caves up against the cliff there where the rock art is. Then also there was a spring down here, and so in this area, this is a desert. Springs are something that would be valued for hundreds and hundreds, and as we see here, thousands of years. And so just a really interesting spot, definitely worth the stop. Any car can make it to the trailhead here. And I now have several more hours of driving to do. This is all that I wanted to see and do in Colorado today. And I need to make it to Utah to be where I want to be for the next few videos. And so I have probably 4.5 hours of driving to do. I might stop in Grand Junction and get dinner there, but I'll meet back up with you guys once we find a campsite. It should still be light by then. I don't think the sun will have set. We have quite a bit of daylight left still, so yeah, I'll see you guys at what will hopefully be a pretty spectacular campsite. Well, I wanted to find a spectacular campsite for the night, and I think I've accomplished that. This view is just stellar. What an amazing place. Let's go walk out onto this little promontory, this little peninsula here, and see what the view is like. Oh yeah, just amazing, amazing, amazing scenery here. This is the canyon of the Dirty Devil River. We're gonna be exploring more of that area tomorrow, so check back, stay tuned for the next video. That'll be a lot of fun. The only downside of this spot is that the wind is pretty brutal right now, so I apologize for that. And here's looking back at camp. Just a lone Land Cruiser in the landscape with the Henry Mountains as a backdrop. Their claim to fame is that they were the last mountain range in the lower 48 to be mapped and explored. It feels really good to be out of that wind. It is relentless out there, but great views as you can see from the car tonight. Again, I've got the mountains out this way. I've got the canyon back over there. Spectacular views in every direction. Great campsite. And this being the first day of a trip, usually I'm a little bit disorganized on these days. Like in the morning when I leave home, I'll just like throw stuff into the back here. So I have like my backpack here, and I've got various camera gear, and I've got a pizza box, and a lot is going on back in here, so I'm going to spend some time tonight going over everything, putting things away, putting them where they need to be, and then I'm just going to relax. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. My favorite part was going through northwestern Colorado, and when I say northwestern Colorado, I'm really referring to the part that's north of Grand Junction. Everyone knows about Grand Junction and Colorado National Monument and everything like that, but you go north of there, it's just a different world, really. There's just not a whole lot of anything in the way of people, but there's a lot of beautiful scenery. I'm really looking forward to going back there in future videos for future adventures. And of course, I enjoyed the charcoal kilns, and the horses were really, really neat. Definitely go there. Like, if you want to see wild horses, if you basically want to be guaranteed to see wild horses, go to that place. Go to Sand Basin. I think you'll be happy with that decision. And it's always fun to be back in southern Utah. But I've spent probably, I mean, literally 100 times more time in southern Utah than I have in northwestern Colorado. And so, you know, I love this part of the country, meeting southern Utah, but there is an allure to northwestern Colorado that I need to satisfy again in the future. So thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite part was. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to roll down the windows here. It's getting hot in here, but I didn't want to have the windows down with the wind coming through while I was recording, so I'm looking forward to getting some fresh air in here. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.